And one of the things that occurred to me is that Ann Romney did a good job, by most accounts, at the convention of really showing her husband as this person who was very caring, very involved in his community, very involved in his church. Does this offset that? Does this hurt that image? Ann?
Oh, sorry, I didn't know you were addressing me here. Yes, I think it absolutely does undercut it, not only because the message is completely counter to the message that Ann Romney was trying to put out there, but also because it's coming sequentially in time, after the conventions. People traditionally start paying attention around the conventions through Labor Day. I think between now and leading up to the debate, any word that's uttered, any revelation that occurs is going to carry more weight than it would have at the time. Now, I think the campaign can console themselves that they can still turn back to Ann Romney. That convention was not a one-off event. She can still campaign for him. But what's curious is that we don't see the two of them together today. On the stump, for example, he's doing some fundraising. So I would keep an eye on his campaign schedule and hers and see whether they try to bring her out there a little more, have her do more interviews, even revive some of the talk from just two or 3 weeks ago.
Shira, do you think that's what might happen, that they might have to be a little more nimble, make some adjustments based on what happened?
Yeah, I think we'll be seeing some shifts in the coming days. Certainly, the way they respond to this is an example of how not to handle a situation exactly like this, by issuing a statement and then a hastily called press conference last night, late in the evening. That's not how campaigns want to handle an incident like this.
I also want to talk about the 47%, because I think that obviously perked up a lot of ears and begged for sort of a fact check. Well, the statistic is basically true. 47% of the country doesn't pay federal income tax, but most of those people are either too poor, which means they make under $20,000 a year, or they're senior citizens because you don't get taxed on Social Security. And then there are 3,000 people who made more than about $2.17 million and paid no federal income taxes. A lot of that is often capital gains. So what do we... Go ahead, David.
I was going to say, the interesting thing here is that Mitt Romney is equating that 47% with the 47% who support Barack Obama. Now, as far as I'm guessing, David Geffen might be paying taxes. Chris, if you voted for Barack Obama, you're probably paying a few taxes. So he was really sort of mischaracterizing two different sets of the population. And if you don't pay those taxes, but you're still paying payroll taxes and sales taxes, and you're working poor or under the poverty level, does that mean you still don't believe in personal responsibility and that Mitt Romney shouldn't care for you? So, I mean, he was really jumbling a lot of things together there, and if he wants to hide behind that fact, I mean, it's not going to give him a lot of cover.
But back to Shira and Ann's point, and Shira, let me ask you this. I mean, obviously we're going to see fundraising going on as a result of this. We've seen it already, so there's no doubt about that. But is this the kind of thing that will fire up the conservative base?
I don't know about that. I think conservatives so far have had kind of a mixed reaction. I saw Eric Erickson on Twitter, for example, kind of stand by Romney a little more, and then we've seen other conservatives say Romney should stand down. So far, Romney appears to be standing by his comments, just calling them inarticulate or something like that. We'll see in the coming days. The bigger problem here is that this is after a series of bad events over the last week. Romney's campaign is not in the upswing in terms of momentum. It's exactly the opposite.
Without a doubt. We're going to talk much more about this coming up a little later on in the hour, but I want to thank Shira Toeplitz, Ann Kornblut, David Korn. Great to see you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.